Well, hey everyone, it is John C. Morley here, serial entrepreneur. It is great to be with you guys on another wonderful time here on Inspirations for Your Life. It's so great to be with you tonight. This is April 9th, 2025. And boy, it has been, when I say a whirlwind of a day, it's been a very, very busy day for me. Lots of stuff has been going on. Really do appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Of course, the granular topic for the week, you all know that. It's letting go, lifting up from judgment to joy. In case you're wondering about the granular topic, let go of the need to be perfect. Series 4, Show 15, episode number 5. So, welcome everyone. I'm so glad that you decided to join me here tonight. If you'd like to take a moment to go grab something hot or cold from the kitchen, whether it's a beverage, whether it's something to snack on, it's totally up to you. Whether it's healthy or whether it's not, feel free to do that and come on back. All right, everyone? Great. Okay, so I am your host, John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys here on Inspirations for Your Life. You can catch more of my amazing, inspiring creations at believemeachieve.com. Of course, after the show, you want to do that. So, tonight, I'm going to dive into a topic that weighs heavily on so many of us out there: the relentless pressure to be perfect. Whether it's a work in situation or in a relationship, or even with maybe just your own goals or aspirations, perfectionism creeps in and convinces us we're never enough. But here is the truth, ladies and gentlemen: perfection is an illusion. Okay, it's an illusion, and chasing it only delays your progress and dims your light. So, in this episode, I'm going to walk you through 10 transformative mindset shifts that will help you let go of perfection and live with more authenticity, clarity, and joy. If you're ready to silence your inner critic and unlock a more powerful, productive version of yourself, then please keep listening. Number 1, perfection, ladies and gentlemen, is a myth. Perfection is a myth. You see, perfection doesn't exist. It's a carefully curated fantasy that we chase, but we never reach. Society often paints a picture of what the perfect life, job, or relationship should look like, but the picture is based on ideals, not reality. The pursuit of perfection only breeds anxiety and dissatisfaction because the target keeps moving. Once we accept that perfection is a myth, we're free to live in truth. We allow ourselves to be fully human, flawed, learning, and growing. Real relationships begin when we stop striving for flawlessness and start striving for the authenticity to be real. So, progress over perfection is number 2. Progress is tangible, it's measurable, and it's deeply satisfying. So, when we choose progress over perfection, we embrace the power of showing up in our lives, trying and improving bit by bit. You see, progress honors the effort, the hustle, the small changes that add up over time. It's a mindset that allows us to celebrate our growth without waiting for the perfect end result. It reminds us that every step forward matters, even if it's not in a straight line. Choosing the progress means choosing movement, and movement is what leads to transformation. All right, so number 3, embrace your flaws. Flaws are not failures, they're fingerprints of your humanity. Every quirk, mistake, or shortcoming adds texture to your story and character to your being. When you hide your flaws, you deny others the opportunity to connect with the real you. But when you embrace them, you lead with authenticity and, of course, strength. Vulnerability becomes your greatest connector. People relate to real, not perfect people. By embracing your flaws, you give yourself permission to be whole, not polished. And that's where true confidence starts to come in. Number 4, guys, growth comes from mistakes. Growth comes from mistakes. No one grows by getting everything right. Growth happens when we fail, when we fall short of what we expect, reflect, and recalibrate. Mistakes are the greatest teachers. They reveal blind spots, test our resilience, and push us to evolve. Instead of fearing failure, we should view it as feedback. Every time we stumble, we gain insights that success alone could never teach us. In fact, the road to mastery is paved with missteps. Embrace your missteps, those mistakes, and see that they're not detours, they're part of the curriculum for greatness. Number five. Self acceptance fuels confidence. You don't become confident by achieving more. You become confident by accepting yourself more. Self acceptance is the foundation for authentic confidence because it allows you to stop pretending and start owning who you are. When you stop resisting your imperfections and instead meet them with compassion, you build inner peace and emotional strength. You begin to trust yourself, regardless of external validation. That's when your confidence stops being performance based and becomes deeply rooted in self respect. Number four, comparison steals joy. Nothing kills motivation faster than measuring your worth against someone else's highlight reel. Comparison is a toxic thing we've talked about before. It takes away, it's like a thief that distracts you from your path and erodes your self esteem. Everyone's journey is unique with different timings, challenges, and blessings. When you compare, you're not playing fair, you're judging your behind the scenes against someone else's spotlight. Joy lives in your own lane. When you stop comparing and start focusing inward, you reclaim your power, your focus, and your happiness. Number seven, done is better than perfect. I said this before. Done is better than perfect. How many dreams sit unfinished because we're waiting for the perfect time, perfect words, or perfect version? Too many, right? The truth is done, and it creates momentum while perfection stalls it. When you get something done, even if it's not flawless, you're taking action, and action creates opportunities. You could always revise and refine, but you can't move forward with what hasn't been started. So choose execution over hesitation. Done means you believed in yourself enough to begin, and that alone is powerful. And that may just be enough to get you to your success. Now, I know what you're saying, John. I don't even know how to get there. I don't know how to start. Well, starting isn't as hard as you may think. You just have to take a quick, um, let's say, a quick survey of yourself and see where you can go. All right. I think that's a very, very important thing to understand. And when you understand that, life changes. Life changes. And the reason life changes is because you're now at a different point in your life. Okay. A point that maybe says, I'm ready for this opportunity. You see, the opportunity will never present itself to you unless you're ready for it. Unless you're ready for it. That's the only time it'll present itself. I mean, you could say that you're ready, but if you're really not ready, guess what happens? You're not going to go anywhere. You're going to become frustrated, right? You're going to become very, very frustrated. All right. Number eight. Number eight. Strive for excellence. I didn't say perfectionism. There's a big difference between excellence and perfectionism or being perfect. Excellence is about doing your best, showing integrity, and pursuing mastery. It welcomes learning and allows for mistakes. Perfection, on the other hand, demands flawlessness and offers no room for error. It's rigid, unrealistic, and often rooted in fear. Striving for excellence means you aim high but stay grounded in reality. You can deliver amazing results without being paralyzed by unrealistic expectations. Excellence uplifts, perfection exhausts. Number 9, guys, celebration. Celebrate small wins. Every small win is a step toward something bigger, something grander. And celebrating it reinforces motivation and self worth. Too often we rush past our achievements, waiting for some major milestone to feel like we're doing enough. But success is made of micro moments, whether it's sending the email you've been avoiding, preparing that quote, making that phone call, doing that research, finishing the project, or simply choosing a new healthy habit. These are all wins in your life, and you need to celebrate them. Acknowledging them reminds you that you're progressing. Don't wait for the big reveal. Celebrate the climb, guys. Celebrate the climb. I think that's a very important thing. And number 10, which is the last point, and then, of course, we have to go into stories. Be kind to yourself. All right? Self-kindness isn't just a feel-good concept. It's a performance enhancer and a life changer. When you treat yourself with compassion, you bounce back from setbacks faster. You develop resilience, creativity, and a deeper relationship with yourself. Being kind to yourself means forgiving mistakes, speaking gently when you fall short, and taking care of your mental and emotional well-being. Harsh self-talk won't get you there faster. It just makes the journey harder. Kindness nurtures growth. Be your own ally. Start doing it today. All right, now, these points tonight are not for the faint at heart, okay? I said to you, success is not for the person that wants a quick fix overnight. That is not success. Not success. So what I want to do is give you some of my own personal stories, okay, to help you relate to these points. Okay? Hopefully that'll make some sense to you guys, right? Does that make sense? Hopefully it does. Right? Hopefully it makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. And by that making sense, it'll give you another connection. So I want to share some personal style stories, basically, with you that have happened in my life. They've been teaching moments. And they also highlight the 10 mind shifts that I think everyone watching or listening today or whenever you are should be able to adapt in their life. Again, I said to you, no one is perfect, right? So just the fact that you're here, just the fact that you want to make that change tells me that, you are going to become even better than you were. You're going to become better, but it will take a little bit of time, right? If we incorporate these practices consistently, we can create a culture where acknowledgement, gratitude, and celebration fuel growth and satisfaction, and of course, build us toward high performance, right? Now, that might sound like something that's, a myth, but it's not. I said before, perfection is a myth. I remember when I first started public speaking, I obsessed over every word, every slide, syllable, sound, gesture, and wanting everything to be flawless. But no matter how much I rehearsed, something would always just go a little bit differently than I wanted. Of course, it would be fine. One day I completely blanked on stage, and the crowd literally laughed. Not at me, but that moment showed me that authenticity resonates. And this whole, rehearsed script came up, but it wasn't rehearsed. More than perfection ever could. People connected with the real John, not the robotic person. Polished version of me, I thought they wanted, but they didn't want a polished version of John. They wanted the authentic version of John. I think a lot of times in life, our friends might appear to want the polished version of you, but really they don't want the polished version. They want the authentic you. They might say that they want, the polished, the perfect. That's just their ego talking. Progress over perfection. When I launched my very first podcast a long time ago, even before I did a podcast, I was doing like an audio cast with Blog Talk. I remember that. When I launched my first one, I didn't have the best microphone. Unfortunately, I didn't have the best mic. And that was a very, very big problem. Okay. Um, the background, and of course, my editing skills were good in video, but not in audio. I was tempted to wait until everything was just right, but instead I hit the record button. Each episode got a little bit better, and my confidence grew. Looking back now, I'm proud I chose progress. Celebrities and other people reach out to me several times a week asking to be on the show. If I had waited for perfection, I'd still be waiting. Number 3, guys, embrace your flaws. For years, I tried to hide some of the struggles I had with imposter syndrome, thinking that admitting it would make me seem weak. But one day I opened up during a live event, and the response floored me. Dozens of people came up afterward to thank me for being real and authentic. That vulnerability turned into a strength, not just for me, but for everyone who saw themselves in my story. And I think sometimes we're afraid to continue our story because it's not perfect, but it doesn't need to be perfect. It needs to be true and authentic. 4, growth comes from mistakes. I once invested in a business that ended in a disaster, not only financially, but emotionally, because I really believed in this company, but unfortunately, just couldn't hack it. At the time, I felt like a complete failure. But as I reflected, I realized I had learned more in those few painful, challenging months than I had in years of successful business. That mistake taught me how to vet opportunities, trust my gut, and lead with wisdom. I also want to share another important point here, and that was about the fact that, miscommunication can cause lots of issues. It can be at school, it can be at work, and people just may not perceive you the way you want. So you've got to be a little careful sometimes. It could be in the context of what you're saying. It could be where you're saying it. It could even be the difference that you might be younger than someone or older than someone. And some person and some people may take that as a threat. Okay? They might. But so you have to realize that you've got to go with the flow. You got to go with how it feels. Okay? Got to go with how it feels. Number 5, self-acceptance fuels confidence. I used to believe I had to constantly prove my worth by doing more, achieving more, being more. But the real turning point came when I learned to accept myself, flaws, quirks, and all. The moment I stopped seeing and looking for approval and starting showing up as me, I felt this boost of confidence I never thought possible. It was like stepping into my own power for the first time, a eureka moment, if you will. Number 6, scrolling through social media, comparison steals joy. I used to compare behind the scenes to someone else's highlight reel. I'd see someone's flashy success and think, why not me? It drained me. But then I shifted to focusing on my journey's different. And I've come pretty far. I mean, not to brag, but I've graduated college, went back to college, got another degree, certified in hypnosis, certified neuro-linguistic programming, graduated the Silva method several times. And hey, I'm back in college again, studying for my master's. And then, God willing, my PhD in a few years. We really have to celebrate where we are, where we've come from, right? Even the fact that now these shows are even more coherent. right? So a lot happens. I've learned to manage time better, and it's really amazing. Number 7, done is better than perfect. Let me say that again, guys. Done is better than perfect. Um, there was a project that I was working on for years. I had the rough outlines, I had the beginning code, and some of the initial summaries, and some of the feature, um, let's say, specifications, but I never finished it because it wasn't perfect. Finally, I told myself, John, just release the code. Okay. And the first version came out. I did. And to my surprise, it actually helped people. And once it was out, I learned I could improve it. I could make it better. That simple act of done moved the needle for me more than the almost sets of could have been, would have been, should have been combines. And that whole thing drove me to realize done is better than perfect. That's like an amazing, amazing thing to say to you. Really amazing. Okay. Done is better than perfect. Number 8, strive for excellence, not perfection. Similar, but not the same. When I launched my company, my very first company, I aimed to serve every client with excellence. But at one point, I burned myself out trying to be perfect. I micromanaged everything, thinking no mistake was acceptable. Once I learned to delegate trust, the process, and aim for consistent excellence or perfection grew. My business flourished, and so did I. I think there's people out there that are not going to be the best for you. And there's not much to say about that, guys. There's not much to say about it. Number 9, celebrate small wins. I used to ignore the small victories, like nailing a presentation or getting positive feedback. Because I was always chasing the next big thing, I was wondering when, where, how. But when I started a habit of writing down little bit things like 3 wins each day, something changed. I began to appreciate the journey and feel more energized. Successful? Yes. But success isn't one giant leap, it's a million small steps. And each one deserves kind of a little bit of a special party. So each day I now always put my goals out for the next day, aspirations, and what I'm doing. I love crossing them off, including every day I have the show and I cross that off. So I have 3 parts of the show. I have the pre-show, which is getting it ready, the content. Then I have the show, which is this. And then I have the social media posts, right? Getting into the podcasts and things like that. Well, amazing. Number 10, guys. This is one that I think a lot of people miss. You know what it is? Be kind to yourself. Let me say that again. Be kind to yourself. Be kind to yourself. There was a time when I was incredibly hard on myself. I think this was in high school, and I think it was also in my undergrad years at college. I missed a deadline or a critical moment that I thought would send me into a spiral. But then I started practicing some self-kindness because I was spiraling. Talking to myself like I would to a friend. Hey, John, you did it right, buddy. You're really on track. Look what you've done in the last year. Look what you've done in the last 6 months. So I started practicing the self-kindness more and more, talking to myself in that friend way. It wasn't easy, but it changed everything for me. I still have high standards, but now I also have a very deep level of self-compassion. Of course, empathy, but really deep compassion. And that makes every challenge that I may experience feel a little bit more manageable. It's not that you experience a challenge. It's how we choose to respond to that challenge that shapes our character and also shapes how successful we'll be. That's a very important point, right? Very important point. Why? Because the moment you learn how to be good to yourself starts to show up for you in ways you didn't think were possible. Right? Pretty cool, right? But why don't people do this, guys? I think they don't do it because they're scared. They don't know how to get started. They fear that, again, they are not perfect. But I said to you, done is better than perfect. As we navigate this very, let's say, challenging journey of life, it is crucial to remember that perfection is an illusion. The truth is we don't need to be flawless to be worthy of success, happiness, or love is key. Instead of chasing impossible ideals, we can focus on embracing progress, learning from mistakes, and growing with each step. By shifting our mindset from perfection to authenticity, we can live more fully and joyfully, knowing that every experience, flaws, and all contributes to, yes, the richness of our story. So let go of the need to be perfect and allow yourself to be real, to grow, and to shine in your own unique way. The journey to becoming the best version of ourselves doesn't require perfection. It requires compassion, resilience, and a commitment to progress. It's about showing up, embracing the process, and celebrating each small win along the way. When we stop comparing ourselves to others and start accepting, okay, ourselves as we are, we unlock something very, very powerful. Do you know what that is? We unlock something very, very, very powerful. The potential for true growth and fulfillment. So take a deep breath, everyone. The 4-7-8 is a great technique, right? Inhale for 4, hold for 7, and out for 8. Give yourself grace and step into your own light, the light that is your birthright. Your path may not be perfect today, but it's your path. And that's exactly where the magic happens, all right? Ladies and gentlemen, I am John C. Morley, serial entrepreneur. It's always a privilege, pleasure, and honor to be with you guys in these amazing days and evenings. Please you check out BelieveMeAchieve.com for more of my amazing, inspiring creations. I'll catch you guys real soon. Take care, everyone.